When we talk about mobile app development, we often spend a lot of time talking about the UI because that's where a lot of unique challenges do get introduced. Creating UI that runs on iOS, on Android, on Windows. But before you can begin creating your UI, you must have some way of getting the data from your systems, whether it's new data or legacy, and a way of authenticating your users via those applications. Now, if you've already created a web service layer for your data, for your authentication systems, you're ahead of the game. You're ready to jump straight into building your app UI. If you do not have a web service layer, you'll need to start here before you build any of your app's UI. You can either do this manually, creating web service layers, writing code, perhaps in C#, in PHP, wherever you may feel most comfortable creating a web service layer, or you can use tools like Telerik Backend Services in our platform. Telerik Backend Services, among many things, provides a way of automatically generating a secure RESTful API on top of your data. By default, if you create new types in backend services, we'll create those types in a NoSQL MongoDB database and also give you a place to write custom Node.js code that can execute around that data. Once you've defined your types there, you get an automatic RESTful API, completely supportable for CRUD operations, and ready out of the box for offline application scenarios, helping you cache data aggressively for performance and sync offline changes back to your database when an app is back online. And that's great when you're creating new projects and you have new data, but if you have existing data, legacy data, like we do today, our data is living in a SQL server, and it's the Northwind database, we can go a step further by taking advantage of Telerik Backend Services' Datalink Server. It's a one-time setup process when you set up and install Telerik Platform. You install a Datalink server near your databases, and once it's installed, it creates a secure link between your data and the Telerik Platform. And once that link is established, the Telerik Backend Services can provide the same automatic RESTful API creation, complete with CRUD support, offline-ready data support, on top of your existing data sources. The Datalink Server supports things called data connectors, which are your link between the Datalink Server and your legacy data stores. And since Telerik has been acquired by Progress, all of these data connectors are powered by Progress Data Direct technology. And Data Direct is a longtime leader in data connectivity and data integration, which makes this a very powerful and robust way of exposing existing data from SQL Server, Oracle, MySQL, and more than 20 other data sources to your to Telerik Platform, and then get that RESTful API on top of it so you can connect it to your apps. So we're going to use this approach today so that we can expose our data to our application without writing any code and let the platform manage the security and everything else for us. And we'll also take advantage of the Telerik Backend Services' ability to help us manage our users in an authentication service so that we can do that with also writing no additional code. So if we go into our project today, we've already got our prototypes now. We have our design figured out. We need to configure this data connectivity. And I mentioned there's a one-time process step involved. I've done this beforehand so that we could get our Northwind data ready to go. So I have here a Northwind data backend services project that I've previously created. And you can see on the left all of the various things that Telerik Backend Services enables you to do. Managing data is just one small piece of it. It's really a combination of data and application services. Within data, we can create new data types or connect to existing data types, as we'll be doing here in a moment. We can store files and serve files up from our cloud infrastructure. And we can even automatically serve responsive images so that you can get highly optimized images for your mobile applications and your mobile websites. There are also things like push notifications for cross-platform push, user management, both built in as well as connecting you to existing authentication systems like social networks or ADFS, and cloud code, the ability to create custom Node.js code that you can run on the scalable Telerik platform cloud infrastructure and integrate that into your application via server-side execution. We're going to focus, though, today on a small part of Telerik Backend Services, the data piece, and we're going to focus on the data connectors. The data connectors help me establish the connection between Telerik Platform and my existing database. So we'll click here and see the connectors I had already loaded up. There we go, and we can see the connector from my Microsoft SQL Server and connected to my Northwind database. When you establish a new connector, you establish the security key to create that secure connection between the link server and the platform. And once it's then established, you can define the types you want to expose from that connector. So the tables, the views, the stored procedures, and the specific fields from those objects that you want to have that RESTful API provide to your mobile applications. I've decided to expose two types from my Northwind database, customers and employees. And so we've got that link established. We've decided which data we want to expose, and I can now begin consuming this quickly inside of my mobile app development. No time spent writing code or maintaining a service layer. Platform is handling that for me and helping me make it secure along the way. For user management, I'm also going to use the built-in user management provider in backend services, though if you wanted to, you could easily connect this to other authentication providers, as I mentioned, and that's a one-click process and a few configuration steps, and then you can use those other configuration providers.